Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Jack, coach of Wenatchee Pets, and we are here with our week 2 battle versus Azoth. So, looking at his team, following up on the team builder that I should have posted a little bit ago, we had the Latias, Mega Aggron, Melodic, Sylveon, Crobat, and Incineroar. I am so happy not to see the Heracross. Honestly, that makes my job so much easier. And he doesn't have the little Noon either, which means I can be a little bit more free with my Doublade. I don't have to keep that thing nice and healthy, so I can bring it in on stuff like the Aggron or stuff like that. So he does have the two special walls, the Melodic and the Sylveon. So I'm definitely glad that and as well as a Latias, so I'm definitely glad I didn't bring the Houndoom, because it looks like he definitely prepped a lot for that. So going into lead matchup here, he does have his two Defoggers, which means I'm not going to lead with the Excelgor. Excuse me. Because he's going to have loads of opportunities to get rid of those hazards. I'm thinking I either want to lead off with my Torkoal or with my Rotom. Yeah, he doesn't have anything unless he's running Scarf, Latias, or Crobat that outspeeds my Rotom. So I think I'm just going to lead off with that. I can fire off a Volt Switch. So I can see what he wants to lead off with himself. I'm thinking he's either going to want to lead off with the Aggron or Crobat. So yeah, Braviary looks really good in this match if I can set up a couple bulk ups. I do have to get the Aggron nice and chipped down first, of course. But yeah, and if Sylveon does not carry Heal Bell, Toxic Spikes are going to be really important in this match as well as regular Spikes. So he does lead off with Crobat, which means I can pretty freely go for the Volt Switch. If he decides to stay in and go for his own U-turn, not expecting the Scarf, that is going to do a good amount of damage. Let's see exactly how much it's going to do. Let's say defensive utility, just be a little pessimistic here. Versus my Rotom. Volt Switch does about 60 to 70% on a more bulky Crobat, which is pretty good damage. It's not going to bring it to the point where Stealth Rocks takes it out, but it is going to be pretty pivotal damage so that he can't get the Roost off later on. So that does do a lot of damage to him, to the 23%. And here he goes for the Roost, so he was just kind of seeing what I wanted to go for. Torkoal in the Sun, I mean, it's not going to do quite as much, I don't think. I'm going to get my rocks up anyways. If he goes for Taunt, so be it, but he can't really do much to me. Yeah, he just goes for the U-turn. And there's the Incineroar. So I did set up the Sun for him, which is a bit problematic. However, he's probably not going to go... What can Incineroar do to me, honestly? He can carry the Earthquake. What does Earthquake do to me? Just give me a second here, guys. I'm putting up some calcs. Incineroar, NU Assault Vest, level 50. What? Why does the Assault Vest set have Fire Blast? That makes zero sense. But Earthquake doesn't even do 50% to me, honestly. However, I don't want to stay in here because obviously Lava Plume isn't going to do much to him back, and I don't want to explode yet. Actually, yeah, I just want to see what he's going to do, honestly. He could go for the U-turn if he expects me to pivot out. And I could go into Excelgor, but then that brings me down to my Sash, and then if he gets up his own hazards, then I can't get up mine later on. If I expect the Earthquake, I can go into either... Yeah, I'm just going to go for the Lava Plume. So he goes for the knockoff. Does a little bit of damage. Now I definitely need to switch out. This Incineroar is a little problematic, honestly. I definitely need Torkoal for Aggron. Um, I do have a really bulky Braviary. So what is my Braviary taking from Incineroar in the Sun from a Flare Blitz, not Fire Blast. Flare Blitz. It does about 65 to 75%. And if he's not speed invested at all, I do naturally outspeed him, so then I can hit him back with a Brave Bird, which will hit pretty hard, doing about 50% to him. That's what I'm going to do, I think. He only has a Fire Punch, which is actually super nice. That does only 32%, so I can... let's see here. Is he going to expect me? I'm going to go for a bulk up. And he crits me, which is unfortunate. But now I'm just going to go for a Brave Bird. Get rid of this Incineroar, which really clears the pathway for Rotom. So we did see that Braviary did outspeed, which means Leg Day is also going to outspeed. So here I can just go for an Earthquake. Actually, should I go for the Pursuit? Nah. Most of my stuff outspeeds him or has some kind of priority or to take him after Stealth Rock. So yeah, I'm just going to go for the Earthquake. What is Melodic going to do to me, honestly? So, Drapion, my set versus Melodic. So Earthquake did 21%. So that is a high roll for max physically defensive. And then... Wait, why is... Okay, never mind. I'm being silly. But... he can't really do much to me. Scald does about... Actually, no, we do roughly the same amount of damage to each other, and I don't want to risk the burn. And we did see he has the leftovers. Shoot, I'm really regretting not bringing Houndoom. I was trying to be smart about it, but I'm having a lot of problems. Also really would have liked Snorlax in this matchup as well. Melodic doesn't do much to Rotom, does it? I could pretty safely come in. Scald is about 50%. But then I can go for... Oh my goodness, Volt Switch does nothing. Even against physically defensive Melodic. I'm going to go for the knockoff. Yeah, this is when Toxic Spikes would have been so nice. Or Toxic on Torkoal or something. Could go for the Poison Jab to hope for the poison. I could... he actually has me in a really difficult spot here. This is why I don't like more offensive teams, because I don't have switch-ins and I don't have Toxic. And, this is why I get for trying to shake things up. I think I really just have to hope for the poison. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to hope for the poison. Because otherwise this Melodic really just gives me a run for my money. I can't do anything. Looks like he's taking his time as well to make his decision, so that's a good thing. I think. I hope it's a good thing. But Crobat is at 20. Or no, it got a roost off. Never mind. But it's going to be about 50%, which means Volt Switch from Rotom will take it out. So if it does come in and try to get the defog off, I can go into my Rotom and kind of with that. That crit on knockoff really hurt because otherwise I would still have Braviary and I could pretty reliably roost up on the Melodic here and get subs up and stuff like that and go for roosts. So that knockoff really hurt me, honestly. That was really unfortunate because after that bulk up, knockoff would have done 20% maybe. No poison. He just goes for another recover, so... oh, he apparently disconnected. So I don't know what he's trying to do because he was already at basically full. Doublé is going to do nothing to him. If he's especially defensive Volt Switch, or physically defensive Volt Switch does not do enough. I have to get him down to about 40%. To take him out with Volt Switch. This is why I wanted Thunderbolt. Damn you, Skirk, for convincing me I didn't need Thunderbolt. I also really wanted to bring Specs Rotom, which would have been amazing right here. But Scarf Rotom does make a lot of sense to make sure I outspeed stuff like the Latios and other things. Yeah, I'm just going to go for another poison jab. I got to get that poison. Nope. He does not get the Scald Bird either, so we're both playing around with 30% here. Oh, yeah, So we've seen Recover, Scald, probably Toxic, and... Dragon Tail, maybe? What does Explosion from Torkoal do? That's really not preferable, though. Explosion does about 35 to 40%, which I can't do until the Aggron's gone anyways, so that's not an option. This is why I wanted to put Toxic on Torkoal. I wanted to put Toxic on it so much, but I figured Explosion would be more beneficial in more situations. Be able to get a free switch into something and get heavy damage off. So I think he's going to go for Recover here. I'm going to assume, no, he went for Scald. He did not get a burn, and it looks like even a crit is not going to knock me out. So I'm just going to go for the Bug Buzz here. See what he wants to do. Yeah, he just goes for the Scald. Then I'm going to set up my Toxic Spikes. There we go. That's what I was hoping for. So now I can go into Clippy. Alright, I was hoping he would go for the Recover so that I can go for Encore there. This way he is now locked into Recover for 2 or 3 more turns. I forget how much exactly it lasts. But now I can go into Rotom. There's the Aggron, and I can go for the Volt Switch. If he wants to stay in, then I go into Torkoal. If not, then if he switches out, then I get a Volt Switch off on something. If he had gone for Scald there, then I would have been in a difficult spot. So yeah, he goes Mega Aggron here. And I have to go into Torkoal. How much does Aggron, Mega Aggron, defensive due to Torkoal? A defensive set does only 39% max. So if he's defensive, he has a chance to hit KO me. Excelgor is above 25%, so it can live another switch into rock, so I'm just going to go for the Lava Plume here. If he decides to switch out into something, then that's totally fine. And I do get the burn, which is really nice. And Leg Day is a little weakened, which is problematic. I'm just going to go for the Rapid Spin here, see what he wants to go for. If he goes for the Defog, then we get rid of both of our hazards, apparently. If he goes for a Draco Meteor, I'm pretty sure I can live one Draco, and then I can go into Drapion and Pursuit Trap this thing. And then that's basically what Drapion's there for, so I can... if once the Latios is gone, then Drapion is more expendable, and I can just hope for the poisons with Melodic. So he goes for the Shadow Ball. Interesting. It only does 33% to me. So I'm at 43%. So I'm going to go into Leg Day here, and I can go for the Pursuit. It looks like he is choice locked. The way he went for Shadow Ball twice in a row. Yep, there we go. Woo! All right, so Latios is gone. Looks like that was his choice Scarfmon. So now Crobot's in here. He's probably going to go for the Defog. I'm just going to go for the knockoff. Yeah, there's the Defog. Now Crobot's gone, so now I can get hazards up pretty easily. Yeah, so we were not in a good spot that first half of the game, and these last couple turns just went really in our favor. What does Scald do to Torkoal in the Sun from physically defensive Melodic? In the Sun, Scald... Oh, shit, that still does 33 to 40%. So I can live one Scald, but not two. I think Drapion is still really useful because it handles a Sylveon really nicely, and it is faster than the Incineroar if I can't get rocks up before that thing comes back in. What did Skull do to Excelgor before? And Doublade is also still really nice, specifically for Aggron. I'm pretty sure it can 1v1 the Aggron. So Skull did 35% both times to the Excelgor, so that will go down to another... no, it's not Yellow Hands. Go away, Connor. These are my nicknames. You have no say in this. However, I think the most expendable member of this team... If I had Toxic on Doublade... I really need to get spikes up with Excelgor. That's my main goal, immediate goal as of this moment. No, I definitely want Doublade. None of my mons are expendable anymore. Shoot. What is Aggron at? Aggron is at 55%. Sorry, I got to do some calcs here. Doublade versus Aggron. Earthquake does 30% to me. Sacred Sword does 21% to 25% to him. But since we're both at full, I think actually I do 1v1 that match. Plus, Doublade is also really good for Sylveon as well. So I definitely want to keep Doublade full. So what is the least useful member? I think Rotom is. No, I'm just going to go for the Poison Jab. Nothing's really expendable at this moment, so I'm just really going to hope for the poisons. Oh my lord. Neither of us are getting our... So here's the thing. So either he goes for the recover here, in which case I get 2 chances to poison him, or he goes for the Scald and knocks me out. Yep, so can I get the poison, please? This is really important. So if he goes for the Scald here and not the recover, then, especially if I get the poison, he will be in Volt Switch range. Or he goes out into the Aggron, which is fine as well. I just go for Earthquake. As he goes for Earthquake of his own. And I need to go for Toxic Spikes. I don't need the Spikes anymore because the Aggron is low enough that other things can take it down. So I need the Toxic Spikes for the Sylveon and the Melodic. Yeah. Aerial Lace, Aggron, nice. Probably for the, what's the word I'm looking for? For the Chestnut, which probably still wouldn't do a whole lot, honestly. Chestnut is a beast. I like Torkoal because it can explode on something. It can probably take 1 hit. It can take 1 hit for almost everything, except the Sylveon. Damn, this is a really rough match, honestly. And Sylveon can go for heal balls on it all at once, but Melodic is going to keep getting poisoned as it comes in. So I'm just going to go into Rotom. I should be able to knock out Aggron with the Shadow Ball. Rotom. Shadow Ball does not knock it out. Oh my lord. Aggron, why are you so bulky? What does he have to hit me? You can't hit me with Earthquake. I resist the Aerial Ace. I resist the Heavy Slam, so... yeah, I can just go for the Shadow Ball here. He might have Avalanche maybe, possibly, but well, I'm looking at max specially defensive Aggron. So if he's not that, yeah, Shadow Ball takes him out. Yeah, if he's max HP with no SPDEF investment, Shadow Ball takes him out here. This is such a close match. It's really, like, it's coming down to what Mons are the least useful for me, which is not a way of playing that I'm fond of, honestly. I like to... Yeah, so he was especially defensive, so we take down the Aggron, which is really nice. And here's the Sylveon. I 100% go out into Doublade. He's going for the Wish, and I cannot let him go out into Incineroar. So I go for the Sacred Sword. If he decides to stay in and go for the Hyper Voice, it's not going to do a whole lot to me. And then I can go for the Iron Head next turn, but I can't let him go into Incineroar. Okay, so he's a Calm Mind set. Interesting. But now I just go for the Iron Head. An Iron Head plus Shadow Sneak plus Toxic should be able to take him out, I think. And he cannot take me out with Hyper Voice. He has to get to like +3 or something like that. Doesn't hurt to bring up those calcs. Sylveon. If he's at +1, let's assume 252. Modest. You are not level 100. So Hyper Voice does at +1 if he's 252 Modest, does around 50% to me. And now I just go for the Shadow Sneak. Yeah. I guess it didn't need to look. That was almost a max roll on that calc. So now, shoot. How much does Rotom do to Incineroar if he's Assault Vest? No, not 100. Oh, 50. Does not enough. He's at 20. He's at 26%. Volt Switch is a maximum of 21%. So I need Doublade. If he's not Assault Vest, then Rotom wins. Yeah. If he's max HP and no SPDF investment, Volt Switch does a minimum of 25%. Actually no, if I get a low roll. Shoot, this is pivotal. So he's definitely going to go for Scald here. I think my best play is to stay in with Doublade. And let Melodic knock me out. Just keep getting the chip damage. And now, if he goes for a cover, I just need to keep getting that chip damage. So I can't let him be at full. I think he's going to Shadow Sneak here, or he's going to go for Scald. So now I go for Shadow Sneak. Shoot, dang it. Should have gone for the Sacred Sword. Go for Shadow Sneak again. He goes for Scald. He's at 51%. Are you physically defensive? We've seen. Volt Switch does maximum of 48% versus max HP Force SPDF Melodic. So I can go to Torkoal. So if I go to Torkoal, he scalds me and I live. I can either explode to knock out the Melodic, or set up the Stealth Rocks to make sure. Yeah, so if I go into Torkoal, he recovers, then I get 2 moves. Or, so I go into Torkoal, I set up Stealth Rocks. As long as he doesn't crit me, or have some weird SPDF investment, I live. And he can either go for Scald twice, and be down low enough that Volt Switch kills, or he goes for recover then scald or scald then recover, and I can explode one of those times. Yep, so now I click explosion. Come on. Yeah, so there's the recover. Okay, okay. And now, Volt Switch. Whoo! Whoo! Volt Switch. Oh my lord, that was a tense as fuck battle. Honestly, I as soon as the game started, I was like, shit, I misprepped so hard. I over estimated his over prepping his I overestimated his over prep for Houndoom. Yeah, so especially with the sun up there, Scald was going to do nothing to Rotom. And even if he was Choice Scarf Incineroar, I would have outspent it right there. That was an intense match. Like, up until the very end there, basically those last two turns, I was like, I had no idea who was going to win, honestly. I learned something about myself today. I do not like teams that don't have reliable bulky switch-ins. So, yeah. GG, Jonathan, aka Azoth Bend. That was an intense as fuck match. You played extremely well. You had really good prep. And yeah, honestly, that was one of the closest matches I have ever had. So good luck with the next of the season, and I'll see you later.